2 Corinthians 5:10-12. I will boast about a man like that, but I will not boast about myself, except about my weaknesses. Even if I should choose to boast, I would not be a fool, because I would be speaking the truth. But I refrain, so no one will think more of me than what is warranted by what I do or say, or because of these surpassingly great revelations. Therefore, in order to keep me from becoming conceited, I was given a thorn in my flesh, a messenger of Satan to torment me. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take it away from me, but he said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong.
Oh my gosh. I haven't been in here with shaders before. Oh, I have so much in my inventory. So I didn't grow up playing video games. The first time I ever played Minecraft was when I was probably about 10 years old. My older brother came over to our house with his laptop, like he usually did, and let us play Minecraft for some reason. And my sister and I fought over it. We were only allowed to play for like 20 minutes before we had to give his computer back. And I remember getting really frustrated because I died so many times. And all I really wanted to do was dig a hole in a hill and make a little house with a door and a bed, and I was happy. And that was pretty much my entire experience with Minecraft for the next 10 years. I don't know if it was 2020 or 2021 or when it was, but my brother and sister decided that they wanted to start a Minecraft world with the 3 of us as siblings. And they made me download the game. Just like last time, I died a lot. I lost my stuff more than once, and they had to save me from lots of spiders and my own stupidity. And I played it maybe 3 or 4 times, only whenever they were online, and then just didn't touch it afterwards for like a year or 2. And the only reason my sister and my brother wanted to play was because in 2020 we had started watching people play Minecraft on YouTube, because we had nothing better to do in 2020. And I fell in love with watching the game. It was just such a cool concept to be able to like live in your own art and tell stories with this massive world that seemed to go on into infinity. And I thought it was the coolest thing, but I didn't grow up playing video games, so why would I be any good at it? So I just watched for like 3 years and didn't think anything of it. And in the meantime, I was doing writing class because I was a creative writing major at the time. I was super interested in animation, so I was doing my own little amateur animation projects. And eventually I got to the point where I wanted to post a couple of them, so I created a YouTube channel, which is this channel, actually. And I posted a few, and they actually did pretty well. I got about 100 subscribers from just my animations, but it was exhausting. To this day, don't know how I did a lot of what I did during the time when I was waking up at like 6 or 7 in the morning so I could write my 1,000 words for the day for class, and then go to work, and then come home and animate for 3 or 4 hours late into the night, and then go to bed and do it all over again. And it may not sound like much, but it was exhausting at the time. At what was probably the most taxing point, I had started a small business on the side of my already full-time job of cleaning houses, and I was doing that for a few months, and I got home from work one day and found out that all of my consistent clients, all 2 of them, it was a very small business, had canceled my services. They no longer needed me for that, and I was honestly kind of relieved. And at the same time, kind of occurring to me that writing was not something I wanted to do. I spent about 11 years of my life thinking that I was going to be a writer as a career. And now that I finally had to sit down and write a full-length novel, I decided I was bored of it. And it was just frustrating me beyond all measure. And animation was not cutting it anymore. So on that same day, when all of my clients canceled my services, I applied for a promotion at my full-time job, downloaded OBS because I found out it was free, and recorded my very first Minecraft video. I don't know what I was thinking. There's very little thought to it, from what I remember. So after a while, my routine changed from writing 1,000 words in the morning to watching a Pixel Riffs tutorial and then going to work. And instead of animating for 3 hours, when I got home, I would be recording or editing. Although I spent a lot more time editing than I did playing. And that was how the Baby's First series started. And I loved it. It was so much fun. I love editing videos. I always have. I just never had anything to edit. It was never really gonna be anything impressive. I thought I would give up after a while because I was pretty notorious at the time for giving up on projects and not seeing them through as soon as they started getting hard. I didn't really take it seriously. Even after my channel got noticed by another small Minecraft channel by the name of Lucky Lane Zero. He commented on one of my videos and said, "Hey, I'm also a small Minecraft channel, and I just wanted to say I think you're doing a great job, and I can really see your channel exploding. I just wanted to say keep up the good work, you're doing a great job." And that was so flattering. I think I had like not even 200 subscribers at the time, and I was just like, oh my gosh, somebody actually thinks I could do this. And I commented back, I was like, oh my goodness, that's so sweet of you to say. And then I went and checked out his channel. I was like, okay, this dude's kind of cool, actually. And I commented on one of his videos, and he was like, oh my goodness, you're watching my videos now? I'm like, heck yeah. And we were just having like a full-on conversation in the comment section, which I would not recommend. It's not terribly safe. We ended up figuring out how to make a collab in our comment sections. And I was like, okay, this is kind of a big deal. I've never played with someone on the internet before. I've never talked to somebody about collabing on content creation before. How did I get here? But it worked out. And not even a week after that conversation, we had recorded both of our very first collabs. And it was just a cute little build battle. I'd like to say it's cringy, but it wasn't bad for how early on both of us were in our channels. And I think that was just a pivotal moment for both of us to be like, okay, this is something that we could do. Around that time when I met Lane and was recording the last few episodes of Baby's First, I decided I wanted to do a lore series. I really wish I could say I was proud of this world. Blankside was my very first attempt at a lore series. It wasn't bad for a first attempt, but my heart wasn't in it. I was so inspired by so many other content creators at the time, and I really wanted to make my own story. I wanted to find a way to combine my love for storytelling with this new game that I learned that I love just as much. Honestly, I think the problem is that I just took it way too seriously. I was so hard on myself. I barely had 200 subscribers at this point, and for some reason I had it in my head that I had to be way further along by now. And while the series itself wasn't bad, I actually have some really good memories from it. Some of my latest of late night editing sessions were to get these episodes out on time. But I think the thing I regret the most is the way that Blankside ended. After I finished editing the last episode of Blankside, I decided I was going to be done making Minecraft content. I'm still not entirely certain what the thought process was behind this. I think I was still in the mentality that if I wasn't good at something, then I shouldn't be doing it. It was a waste of time. That was also a period of a lot of change in my life. I was going through another phase that lots of young adults my age go through, where I feel like I should know what I need to be doing with my life and I should be doing more productive stuff. I thought that if I was done with Minecraft, maybe I would find something that suited me better, that had fewer follow-up questions when people asked me what I like to do for fun. So I put Minecraft away for a while and didn't really have any intention of coming back. I tried writing again, I tried animating again, but nothing really clicked. the same way. It even got to the point where Lane had been invited to an SMP, the Craftworks SMP, and told me that they were looking for members, and he asked me if I wanted to do it, and I told him no. I didn't see myself taking Minecraft seriously anytime soon. It just didn't seem like a practical option to me, and I didn't let myself think about it until a good friend of mine, Empress Littlebit, started playing the game herself and received the same invitation from Lane, and she accepted. And I stood back and watched, and I tried to tell myself that that wasn't for me. Just because she was doing it doesn't mean that it was working, didn't mean that it was a practical option for me. Until finally, after 2 months of this, I told myself that this was dumb. Inspiration struck, and I couldn't ignore it. Oh my word. I haven't been here. Oh, the bubbles! I haven't been here in a while. Coming up with ideas has never been much of a problem for me, and I think Junk Drawer was one of the best examples of that. One thing that really bugged me about watching Minecraft videos was that, in my opinion, in a lot of the videos I had seen, a lot of people built the same stuff. Lots of houses, lots of towers, lots of bungalow things. I wondered why that was. So I wanted to make my own world that I wouldn't get bored of, that I would want to come back to just because it's where I could put anything. Like a sketchbook. Doesn't matter what you put in, doesn't even have to look good. It's just for practice. It's just for fun. So that's where the Junk Drawer world came in. And I had so much fun with this series. Junk Drawer is still one of my favorite series that I've ever made, and I do plan to come back to it. Making this gave me the confidence I needed to know that I had something to offer this community. Now, my views and my subscriber count, or whatever numbers people tend to think about when they think about success, didn't skyrocket while Junk Drawer was in progress, but I didn't care because this was the series that made me realize that maybe I could be half decent at this whole Minecraft thing. During the lifespan of Junk Drawer, I actually got to know a bunch of the people on the Craftworks SMP through Empress Littlebit and Lucky Lane, to the point where I kind of ended up being an honorary member in their Discord for a while, which, looking back, they did not have to do that, and I am super happy that they included me as much as they did, even though I wasn't technically a member. So much so that partway through the first season of Junk Drawer, Lane messaged me and said, hey, we're thinking about doing a kind of one-off series, maybe like 2 months at the most, where we capitalize on this chunk lock trend, and we wanted to offer you the invitation. And my very first thought was, why isn't he asking E? Why isn't he asking Empress Littlebit? So I went and asked her, and she said, I told him to ask you first because we both knew that you wanted to work with these people. And at first I hesitated. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure you're okay with this? And she said, yes, just tell him yes. So I said yes. That's how I got to be on the Chunk Lock SMP. And Lane was right. It only lasted a couple months. We got really sick of it very quickly. But it was the best way to be introduced to Oda and Millie, and to get to know Lane just a little bit better, because I hadn't gotten to work with him for a while since I quit. And we made lots of good memories, lots of inside jokes happened. It really cemented in my brain that, okay, I need to be a part of this SMP for real if I can. So after the Chunk Lock series, I decided that Junk Drawer was great. I loved it a lot, but the storyteller in me was feeling a little neglected. So I started coming up with a little story in my head on the boring days at work, and started pulling from some ideas I had during my Minecraft dry spell where I wasn't making videos anymore. And as soon as I thought, like, okay, maybe I think I might want to try to start this, Lane messaged me and said, hey, by the way, Craftworks Season 1 is wrapping up for the new 1.21 update, and we're gonna start Season 2 3 or so months from now. So you should probably start planning now. I was a little nervous, a little shocked. All of a sudden, I had very little time to do all these projects that I very suddenly wanted to do, but I knew whatever the case may be, I had to get them done. I was so excited to do rhymes. This was also my first opportunity to work with a bunch of people from the Craftworks server because I ended up asking them to do some of the voice acting for me.
The itsy bitsy spider crawled up the water spout.
I thought the spiders were too big to fit.
It must have been a small one.
What should we do, Your Highness?
Look, I'm a spider!
Is the spider still in there?
It's only a spider, Mallard.
That was kind of an odd way to meet a bunch of the members, people like Toblox and Zinkberg. I hadn't worked with them yet. Having them record the voices for my single-player lore series was my first time working with them. It was such a cool experience to have so many other creators backing one of my stories that I had come up with. And Rhymes was kind of my first time ever having an audience for one of my stories at all. And it really showed me my creative writing side really could be combined with my love for Minecraft. It wasn't something that had to be separate. It actually worked really well to do this in Minecraft, and I learned a lot from it. I think it really helped give me that boost of confidence to go into the Craftworks SMP and feel like I had a couple really good series to show for my work. And that brings us to Craftworks. I was so nervous the day we first started recording. I pretty much knew everyone here already. There were a few people I hadn't worked with yet, but it was such a fun time. SMP content is way different than single-player content, and it's really cool, but there was a lot I had to learn, like sharing. I'm not used to having to share my resources, or sharing other people's resources that they gather for me. I also had to learn really quickly about imposter syndrome and feeling like I'm not good enough to be here and play with these people, and not comparing my style to anyone else's. Not that I should anyway, because my style's so weird, but I'm loving it so far and I'm learning so much. It's just such a cool spot to be in. Playing with other people and playing by yourself, there's really no comparison. They're just two completely different games. And as happy as I was, and I am, with the progress that I made on the SMP, I was kind of missing single player content, and that's when I decided to go the modded route because a bunch of people had asked me if I would do a modded series, and at first I was like, I'm still so new to the game, I don't think I could do modded, that sounds like really overwhelming. But at the same time I had also been thinking about doing a chill series because I like listening and watching people play chill Minecraft stuff, so like Toblox and Infinite Drift were big inspirations for that kind of thing. I just didn't think I could do chill, but it was something I really wanted to do, and the main thing that keeps me from being chill when I'm playing Minecraft is the mobs and the risk of death, but Minecraft gives us the option to not have to do that. I had wondered about making a peaceful series before. I even ran it by my fellow Craftworks members and asked them, it's like, would it be really boring to make a peaceful series? It surprised me when they said, no, I don't know why people haven't done that before. And at the time I kind of brushed it off. I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll do that later. And then later came, and I decided, well, peaceful is great, but I definitely could make it a little bit more interesting by adding mods, so I'm gonna add some mods. So I just downloaded the Modrinth launcher and added a bunch of mods and recorded my very first modded episode for Cup of Tea. I did not expect it to blow up at all. I had never seen anyone do a peaceful Minecraft series like this before. I thought there was a reason, and I thought I was about to find out what it was. Then all of you commented to say that this is exactly what you were looking for, and you were going to start making worlds of your own that followed the same guidelines and mods and stuff, and I just thought, wow, I couldn't have timed this better if I tried. I couldn't have found this kind of audience on my own. Everyone says thank the algorithm. I don't think the algorithm has much to do with it as much as, God's timing and stuff like that. That's what I believe. But it seriously blows me away, the timing of everything that happened and has happened during my time here on YouTube. I haven't been doing this for very long at all, and as much as people say that I deserve it, I really don't. Still have no words to describe how I feel about everything that has happened. I'm just so blessed, and I really hope I steward this opportunity well because I don't want to waste it. I think this is such a cool platform, and the fact I get to be part of the Minecraft community at all is just mind-boggling. I never would have guessed that this is what I would be doing a little over a year after I started trying to do it. I have no words. All that to say, really just go for it. Work with the tools that you have, work with the skill set that you have. Know that you're never really gonna have time for it until you make the time to do it. Be consistent. That's how you make anything you're creating better, is just to be consistent, to pick a day and stick to it, and it'll turn into a habit, and a habit might turn into an addiction, and sometimes that's a bad thing, but sometimes it's a really good thing. As for figuring out your video style or what it is that can make your channel pop off or whatever, don't worry about that right now. If you're at the point though where you've been making videos for a long time and you're just waiting to take off, sometimes there is a matter of waiting, but sometimes there's a matter of looking and seeing what it is you might need to change. You have to look for a niche, look for an empty space and fill it. For me, I thought my niche was that I was new to the game and people might find it endearing that I was such a noob, but that didn't turn out to be the case. And then Cup of Tea came around and it turned out peaceful Minecraft is something that people have been looking for. There is a space that I could fill with my personality and my ideas, and there's one for you too. It's okay to take up space in the world. Sometimes you just have to go find it. If you're having trouble coming up with ideas, start using the stupid ones. That's how Junk Drawer came to be. It was a stupid idea of just building whatever the heck I wanted in a world, and it worked out well. If you're just getting started, use as many free programs as you can. DaVinci Resolve is free, OBS is free. Use a cheap mic if you have to. And if the thing that's stopping you from doing it is feeling insecure about yourself or your content or your abilities, don't let that stop you, because sometimes that might be the one thing that makes you special, that attracts somebody to your work, whether that's on YouTube or not. So if you're thinking about it, do it. And if you're doing it, be consistent. Don't stop. Don't give up. And if you're thinking about giving up, maybe take a break. But I can guarantee that if it's meant to be, you will come back. Speaking as somebody who has quit before, that's my story for now. There are so many more lore series that I have in mind, so many more one-off series and Junk Drawer Season 2, 3, 4, whatever. More seasons of Craftworks, more mods that I want to explore. There's just so much more to do, and I'm so excited to do it. But I am even more excited that all of you are choosing to join me as the channel grows and develops. I just hope that you know how much I appreciate you. As much as people focus on the numbers, I am just blown away by the fact that every single one of those numbers is represented by an actual person who has a life of their own, and that I get to be a part of it in a small way. And I hope you know that you're all such a big part of my life now too. I cannot wait to see where the story of this channel goes next. But if it's half as amazing as this year has been, then I am so beyond excited to see what's going to happen next.